laced up.
Let's go!
It's time for Banter with the boys.
What up, football fans? Welcome back to Gridiron Updates on Banter with the Boys. I'm Rob Sletton. Today in the house, we got Justin and we got Kevin behind the camera. We got some MVP talk for the race, a little playoff chaos, a couple hot takes. So buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Let's roll. We're back here. Football talk. Justin in the house. Kevin doing the sound and video back there. Thank you, sir. Welcome back, Justin. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Thanks for having me again, Rob.
Packers coming off a nice win, so it's always got to feel good with one of our you're a second Packer fan, and I think that's been on the show consistently, but Justin's kind of taken over this year. Let's get right into the first game, Vikings and Commanders. 9 came a little alive today, 31-0 ripped. What was your take on this game here, Justin, as a Packer fan?
They cut 9 loose. I'm a little biased when it comes to 9. Cheering for Big Blue in Michigan. It's exciting to see him do his thing. And I think what everyone has wanted in Viking land has wanted him to do, they finally did. They modified the playbook. They kept it simple for him, and
quick.
That's what he does best. Like, just get the ball to your playmakers and let them do their thing. And the defense came alive. It was really fun to see. I think the biggest thing that probably frustrates Vikings fans is when they're not playing well, they get talked about, and when they're playing well, they get talked down to It's just the Commanders. No, this was a really, really good win, especially coming off of the shutout in Seattle to respond in this way. It was really good to see. I think the biggest winner of it all was the coach.
Yeah,
the fact that he has the locker room still and could do something like that was huge all around.
It was good overall, like, team win. I feel like the defense play, were dominant. They ended up knocking out Daniels. Third. I was at the game. And so that fourth down stop on their first possession really kind of tame. And then we went on that 98-19 play, 12-minute drive. And J.J. 9 had a really nice scramble on third down that got that drive going. And after that, it just kind of rolled the Vikings' way. The ball started bouncing. And that's just the way the game goes. You start getting that Momo going, as Mr. Cole Schmeltzy would like to say. And, it was a good win for us. I'm definitely outside looking in. Playoffs probably still. We'd need a lot of things to go our way, but we're not mathematically out. We're at the 11th. I just looked earlier today.
You'd say there's still a chance.
There's chip in a chair. There it is. We'll get that out of the way real quick. So Vikings move on to being 5-8. Commanders are eliminated 3-9. Do you think Daniels even plays anymore the rest of the season?
I say no, but with that coach making the decisions he does, it wouldn't surprise me if he does. Like, I don't know why he was in that game after the terrible injury he just came back from, and the fact that he didn't have more damage to that elbow is a miracle. The fact that they put him in that game was crazy because, of course, what's going to happen? Your arm's going to get hit.
Yeah.
And so it was smart they took him out when they did. It sounds like he still has more damage. If he's available to play, I get nervous for his safety that Dan Quinn puts him back in.
Yeah, Redskins coming off the NFC Championship game, and then they're like that team at the beginning of the year you're projecting, to continue getting better, and they've kind of fallen off the cliff. They spend a ton of money in the offseason on a bunch of free agents, Deebo Samuels, a couple guys on defense, and it doesn't look like it's going to turn. And then Zach Ertz with that bad injury.
Devastating.
Clean hit, it's NFL,
just
things
happens.
move fast.
Yeah.
I did like that Ward dipped out of the stadium ASAP, went straight to the hospital to check on him. That's some good sportsmanship there. So
yeah, that was really good.
Where are we at, Kevin, here? Minute ago. We'll just keep Vikings 131. Not much more else to talk about.
Although that was the first game with the O-line intact, wasn't it?
It was the first.
You look at the run game. You look at what Jones did. You look at what Mason did. Like, they finally got them going, and what you wanted to see the run game be and do along with JJ. It was great. And I think the secret sauce on the other side is the week before against Denver, Scary Terry went off and had a huge game. The Vikings bottled him up to, I think, 41, 42 yards.
I know, 3 for 40 to 4. I had him. I started him in fantasy too, and it absolutely hurt me, but I still got the dub. So, but yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, the first time we've had all 5 starters back, and you saw that. If we were a little more effective in the run, I think $160-ish. I think we ran for overall. But yeah, any other takes you saw from that game?
No, just all around good win, good momentum going into an important game this week that I know we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Yep. It's coming on the next preview show. So we'll move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Baltimore Ravens. I know I went Ravens on this one. Pittsburgh just kind of held them off. Rodgers, had a decent enough day. Gainwell continues to be a little spark for them. Pittsburgh's defense, it's like every other week they show up and they don't show up. But they got the win, Pittsburgh. So now I think they took over first place in that division. What were your takes and thoughts of watching that game?
Yeah, it was the classic Pittsburgh game, right? Really gritty, ugly when you look at it from a stat line standpoint. The defense keeps them in games. This is the magic of an older Aaron Rodgers, keeping them just enough in games. He turned back the clock a little bit. He hadn't had a rushing touchdown since 2021, so to see him get the wheels moving, that was great.
Discount double check.
You got a little bit of a discount double check. So exciting. They had the coach doing it on the sideline. That was great. No, but to your point with Gainwell, he didn't pop on the stat line, but it was meaningful. It was down conversions. It was a touchdown. That was big. I think what impressed me the most is Rodgers. I don't know if he's had a game like that passing with Pittsburgh. So that was really good to see. It looks like Lamar Jackson's just getting the traction. But I think the scary thing, if you're a Ravens fan, is it too late? Are they going to be able to put it all together with some of the injuries they've had, what Lamar's been going through? It feels like it's just starting to click. It might click at the right time, but it might put them in a really tough spot where they're on the outside looking in as well. Yeah,
because I don't think we really know where his toe is at.
No.
Is he what pain level is he playing at right now? Lucky for the Ravens, they're in the AFC, and because you look at the NFC, you need at least 9 wins to be in the hunt right now. So they do have that going for them. 4 games left. Good battle overall. Excuse me. Lamar. Yeah, he did do me impress. He did finally get a first rushing touchdown. Did you see the opening play that Rodgers did to Metcalf, throwing a deep? Yeah. So that got that passing game going starting. So that was a 52-yarder, and then he had also another 41-yarder.
Yeah, that was his long of the day. He had 148 yards. I'm surprised he didn't get in the end zone though, but he got them down there quite a few times. I think the thing that surprised me about the Ravens was you look at who they were last year, you knew when they were going to run, and you couldn't stop Derrick Henry, I think because of the threat of Lamar either throwing or running. And now because of the toe injury, he's not running as much as he was. So when they're looking like they're going to run, you can stop Henry, and a lot of teams are starting to figure that out, and I think it's making them one-dimensional.
Yeah, that RPO's kind of disappeared. It's not as a threat. I mean, I could almost say that with the Eagles, too, right now.
Absolutely.
They used to run it as more of a threat, but now it seems to be a little more pass-happy. That did move the Steelers to 7-6. Ravens dropped down to 6-7. Playoff chances dropped from 69% to 38% for you math nerds out there. Steelers did lose a couple of guys, got banged up. I mean, it was a good classic division game. They got banged up a little bit on the defensive side. So, but let's move on to another a defensive battle, we'll call it. The Los Angeles Chargers, Monday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. Chargers come off top 22-19 overtime. Really interesting game, some really interesting points. Oh, Kevin, will you throw out those top 15 plays? I think one of the plays we're talking is in there. I can't see it. So there it is. 4 interceptions out of hers, and the fumble. Did you see the play where he threw the pick?
Yeah,
Barkley came, punched it.
how do you lose 4 fantasy points off of one play? Let's just start there. That was crazy, and it was funny because we're starting to get our daughter into football, and one of the ways you do that is through the Monsters Inc. Telecast. So we had it on ESPN on one TV,
Nice.
we had it on Disney Plus on the other, and they show Sully intercepted the ball. Oh, Sully fumbles it. Mike Wazowski has it. Mike fumbles it. Like, it was chaos. And when you watch the whole thing, the funniest thing for anyone that hasn't done it yet is go watch a YouTube video of the referee explaining what just happened, and it takes 5 minutes. It's crazy, but just a really messy game. It didn't look like it was going to be messy for most of it, and then what you could tell is when the Chargers put any pressure and collapse the pocket, Jalen Hurts does what, like, he gets the bad rap for. Like, he was touted so much this year and last year for being really careful with the ball, not turning it over, just being really methodical when he makes big-time plays, makes big-time drives to win these big-time games. And now you look at what's happening this year, and it's so different. Part of it is with, they say it's the OC. Part of it's with the line being injured. Part of it, that goes to Saquon. Yep. But you look at the game Saquon had yesterday. You look at the game A.J. Brown had yesterday. A.J. Brown had 100 yards. Saquon had a massive game as well with a touchdown. And they still can't figure it out. Like, if you're an Eagles fan at this point, I would imagine you give Jalen Hurts all the credit for what he's done. He's brought a Super Bowl back to the city, but I don't know if you trust him this year. Like, that was a really bad game. He threw in one game as many interceptions or more than some of the top most elite quarterbacks have for the whole season. It's really scary.
Yeah, it was 8 turnovers is what just turnovers is absolutely what's killing the Eagles right now. And I've been noticing a lot of interceptions that Hurst it's that D tackle getting in his face pressure. Because he doesn't seem to be, when he gets outside of the pocket, being as effective as he was in the past. I've been noticing that. Like, even on the OT play, I mean, the cornerback had a nice play to get his hand on it, on the interception. Because right there, before that play, I'm like, the Eagles are going to go in and win this game there.
And that looked like a touchdown.
I think it was like a first down play, actually. So, very interesting game. Barkley, did come out of it, like you're saying, on that aspect. I did look at the stat line, too. Other than A.J. Brown, nobody else did anything. I think Smith had a couple yards in OT that kind of changed his stat line, but in those first 4 quarters. But Chargers just getting it done. I mean, they're just an ugly... Get it done. 2 running. We talked about both tackles gone, 2 of your starting running backs gone. And then you got your quarterback with a broken wrist. And I say he was even stiff arming some people on that. So you talked about Lane Johnson being hurt for the Eagles, and it looks like Carter in the middle for the Eagles being gone is also huge, really huge and hurting them. So. That's 3 losses in a row now for the Eagles.
Look out, Dallas. Just creeping around. Staying enough there where they got a chance.
So that's why I think the NFL didn't flex the Vikings-Cowboys game, which we'll be talking about.
That's a big game.
The episode out of the Sunday night game.
The only other thing I'd add from the Chargers game is I go back the last couple years to what Michigan was when Harbaugh was the coach, and Jesse Minter was the DC for him at Michigan. And you see a lot of that intensity, a lot of that getting after the passer, getting after whoever has the ball and trying to take it away that you saw in Michigan during their championship run. You see it here. So even when the offense can't do it for obvious reasons with what Herbert's going through, you can count on that defense. I would not want to play that Chargers team right now down the stretch.
Yeah, they're just getting hot at the right time, but they play in a tough division right now. So, and I think they might have the Chiefs left. And all the rest of those division games. So it's gonna be fun. Like, there's so many good matchups throughout this. Injuries. I think the Eagles. Which way are they gonna go now? 8-5. There's no one other than the Cowboys. They might be like Tampa Bay is in that division too, with Carolina 7-6. You have to win your division to make the playoffs in the East and the South, probably.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially with what you said with some of these teams looking out, and you look at Chicago, and they dropped from 1st to 9th after losing to Green Bay. Like,
smooth.
They're at 9 wins right now, and 9 wins might not be enough. You look back years ago and what the NFC was, it was enough. It was almost enough to lock something up. So it's I'd be nervous if I was the Eagles right now, as far as who you are and what you're gonna do and who's around you that could take over.
Yeah, they got to turn around. 3-game loss from the Super Bowl champions. But let's move on to the game you really came here to talk about. The Green Bay Packers go into Chicago and win 28-21. Packers kind of took the lead on that late interception to kind of win it. Love's kind of on a little hot streak right now. Him and Christian Watson. I think we've been talking about this last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Watson's starting to come and looking like the number one. Jacobs had a decent game. I think he
Finally got rolling.
But it was a good game by the Bears too.
Really good. Really good.
Caleb Williams is starting to definitely look like he's belong in this league. That matchup with him and new coach Ben Johnson seems to be fitting. Tough way to lose on that interception. I get it. You're trying to put a touch on it.
Yeah.
And you want your receiver to go up and compete for the ball. But a little short. I get it. It happens. But hell of a game. Congratulations, Packers improved to 9-3-1.
Huge win.
How
Huge.
you feeling about this game and moving forward?
Feeling good. They could have made it a little easier. I think a lot of people talk about the 17-play drive that just kept going and that gashed the defense. And our defense didn't do them any favors. Keyshawn Nixon, number 25, gave up 2 15-yard penalties that would have stopped that drive if those hadn't.
But had the big pick at the end of the game.
He had the pick to take over for it, but
Totally redeemed yourself.
Ideally, shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. But it shows who the Bears are. It shows what Ben Johnson's doing. He's got a great squad over there. I just loved it for all of the Bears fans that were chirping at being 1-0 in Lambeau for this year, and it's Caleb's house now. Like, it was great to reassert that dominance and make sure you take care of home, especially with what the Packers have done this year is losing 2 games at home. You weren't sure what was going to happen, but thank God for Jordan, Alexander, Love, and Toyotathon. Like, his numbers in Toyotathon, if you haven't looked at it, are absolutely massive. He's had 2 or 3 interceptions. He's had 20-some touchdowns. It's insane. Every Packer fan wants Toyota to put this promotion on throughout the whole football season so that he can keep rolling. But it's been
Don't
it's
go to
been
the well
fun.
too many times.
I know,
It'll
right?
dry out.
It's been fun. Christian Watson is on a heater. Last 2 games he has 5 touchdowns. I think for all the talk of you don't have a number one, I think he's finally emerging as that number one. You get Jaden Reed back. They got him involved right away. That was a difference maker, and they freaking ran the rock in the right way. They had 20 rushes for I think 80-some yards with Josh Jacobs. So it was really good. Now they have to go in about 9 or 10 days and go do it again in Chicago. So that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, I like how the NFL set up the schedule where they really compile. Yeah, I think it's at least 3 division games to finish up. And I think it's one of each, isn't it? If I believe, or no, they double them up, a couple of them.
Yeah,
I think if they feel like they're going to be the contenders, they double them up towards the end. Because we opened the Vikings against the Bears,
Yeah, that's right.
So I think they do maybe a division game week 1, then kick them all to the back. So very good job at the NFL schedule makers. I feel like just the end of the years became more competitive, and so many games count, and we're all glued to our TV and hopefully to Gridiron updates. Listen to all us jabbering about some stuff that we think we know about. So, any other last takes for the Packers moving forward? I mean, this puts them in number 1 seed.
They're the second seed. The West
Rams.
owns it. Rams have the first. So this is second, but they've got a tough little stretch coming up. They have to go into Denver. 11-win Denver have won, I think, 10 in a row.
Yeah.
9 or 10 in a row. Go play them. You feel mixed about that game. You feel good on some regards, but then you also know who Denver is on the road. That's going to be a tough game. Then you go to Chicago, you host the Ravens, then you go to Minnesota. So 3 out of your last 4 are on the road. It'll tell you a lot about the team. I think you feel good about your playoff chances, but there's still a lot to prove to go get that North title.
So you think 2-2 they're in the playoffs? That would put them at 11-5-1.
Yeah, I think they're in. I think they have to win at least 2. Yeah, I think at least 2.
So maybe that bye will come back to help them against the Bears in the overall aspect, where typically it hurts you. All right, let's move on to the final game. Jacksonville Jaguars against Indianapolis Colts. Daniel's going down with a torn Achilles. Kind of, was that second quarter?
Yeah, that was really early. He had only thrown the ball a handful of times. And I think you looked at that game and you knew it was going to be tough. You know, Jacksonville has a tough defense.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the typical Indy offense, but to just see how it happened, see the frustration that he showed, it was tough to see. And it impacts the Colts. You look a month ago and we're talking about them being the number one seed in the AFC, straight to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Some other fans are talking. It looked like nothing was going to slow them down. You know, they get punched in the face a couple of times. Daniels fractures his leg. And now this is really tough, especially with someone who is leading that team in the way that they were on a one-year deal. Like, there's a lot up in the air when they gave up 2 first-round picks to go get Sauce. They put so much
Who's
into this
hurt
year.
probably for the next month.
That was a tough one.
Do you think Daniels has played enough to get a contract back in Indy?
I would hope so. I would hope that they.
Hope so. Okay.
Yeah, you just don't know because they also have Riley Leonard. What happens over the next 4 weeks if he can play? I know he's got some ligament concerns in one of his knees. So it's up in the air if he plays. They got the King that's back. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So I think they've got a few people in the building that can help them get through these next few weeks. What I'm really curious about is when Leonard is healthy enough to play, does he do enough to say, let's ride out his rookie deal and let's say goodbye to Jones? That's where my head goes when I say hope. I think he's done a lot to show he does deserve it somewhere. I don't know if it's Indy.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting off like that this season, I think, and then getting, I guess, hurt now almost helps him, I guess, even if they do epically fail. We talked about last week. I mean, we were talking about them not having a winning record because they have a gauntlet of games left. And Jaguars is probably like one of the easiest of their remaining games. And now with your starting quarterback down, they do have the King coming back. We'll talk about here shortly. But it's not looking good right now. We'll see what that Riley Leonard, where was he from? Do you remember? Was he at USC for?
I can't remember. I was just looking at who they have coming up, and they have this. They're at Seattle, then the 49ers, then they have the Jags again, and then they end at the Texans. Really tough stretch.
Yeah, exactly. So we were talking 8-9 is a possibility, and then especially with the quarterback down right now, we definitely could see that direction going. So big win for the Jaguars. Jaguars, I think if have the lead in that division, and I don't think, without an epic fail out of them, I think that they almost kind of secured it up. Yeah. And then with the injury of Danny Dimes, doesn't look good for the Colts moving on. So, anything else you want to talk about this one?
The only other thing is I'll be interested to see where the Texans come into play here. Can they, they're one game behind, can they make a run at it? Do they still play? That's the only team that'll threaten Jacksonville for that one spot. So that'll be interesting to watch too. A little back and forth.
And both teams, even like you say like that, if Colts fall off, Jaguars and Texans kind of battle it out. Both teams could still make the playoffs. One of them could be the wild card, especially in that AFC. So, thanks for joining us. Kevin behind the camera, looking beautiful, making us sound awesome. Thanks again, Justin in the house. Again, I'm Rob Sledden. This was the recap of Week 14. We got some news, some info, some MVP talks, maybe some playoff information. So we'll catch you here shortly on the next one. Peace.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Tune in next time for more Banter with the Boys.